Hello. I made it to day 6. First to stars, detox. Solid food vacation. Have not been chewing food for 6 days now. Well, I'm working on day 6. However, this peach is kind of thick. I just juiced 4 peaches. It's the first thing I've had today, though. I had some coconut and pineapple water. And so, but I wanted to just come and document my day 6 because I am going to document 11 days. If I go farther than the 11 days, then I will be super proud of myself. But I am staying committed to the 11. And I wanted to celebrate day 6 with some Renaissance of humanity. So last year made this 26 fellow revolutionary poets helped manifest and bring this dream into fruition, because I had been brewing this book idea in my mind since 2021 when I went to the Ohio Renaissance Festival for the first time. And that is also the same year and around the same time that I watched the movie The Greatest Showman for the first time. And so I started imagining a circus and whatnot, and I gathered people with me together to contribute poems for this book. And I'm going to read my poem. It's page 42, The Osculating Oracle, because I am being tested today. Day 6 for me is not just a test of me sticking to my juice fast, just, initiations, just, you will be tested. It's okay to show them that you studied. And it's like everything that I thought that I know is I'm having to put it into action. So just keeping my vibe up, and figured I haven't read this poem probably since I edited it for this book last year, because that's how my poems are. Sometimes I write a poem and then I forget about it, and then I read it again years later or so, and it's like the first time. So this will be kind of like the first time for a while with me reading it to you. So, The Osculating Oracle. Oh boy, did I fall off the wagon and took another tumble down the rabbit hole of self. Writing this now to tell you what I learned about myself, heaven, hell, and everything else. Now that I'm finally back on board after taking a quantum leap onto the path of training a new generation of healers like Don Philippe. In order to become a healer, we must first heal. To do that, we have to be brave enough to feel. We'll need to take a deep dive within and do some self-reflecting. Become truth in order to get an honest look in the mirror without projecting. Once you're sitting there seeing yourself clearly and owning every part, you'll be able to take accountability. That's a great way to start. One thing I found for certain is that this game called life really is the greatest show. I'm also grateful to understand it takes a lot of darkness for the seed of agape love to grow. There's so much to say that can't be expressed in written word, so I'll stick with the things my experience has concurred. Life's labyrinth will have you repeatedly walking in and out of hell. Know there's always a reason anytime you find you have fell. Just like Inanna's descent into the underworld, where she lost something at each of the 7 gates. We too need to get rid of the 7 deadly sins within ourselves and walk naked, carrying only grace. It's then that we can redeem ourselves in order to regain our regalia and acquire the sight of Sidor from the goddess of death herself, Freya. Gaining that magical gift of telling and shaping the future helps us to use the past to make wiser choices, making our path much smoother. Acceptance is an important part of progressing. Another way to lighten the heart is by confessing. Angels are able to fly because they take themselves lightly. Demons are weighed down because they hold on to ego so tightly. Heaven isn't a place you go to when you're dead. It's someplace you manifest with the thoughts inside your head. We'll get many visions of heaven before we're able to enter, helping God create with every glimpse because we're a co-inventor. Everything really does happen for a reason. There's a puzzle piece found in every season. Transmuting the bitter will make you better. You'll learn self-love while under the pressure. Holding on to it, though, turns you into a grumpalump. You'll sour and eventually rot, owing to the fact that you simply can't control what you yourself have thought. So back to pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. Purifying our temple is the only way to earn a gown of godly white cloth. It takes a lot of courage and discipline to activate our dormant DNA, especially when the world is doing its best to suppress it in every way. Everything we think, eat, see, and speak will raise or lower our frequency. It's up to us to see that there's so many trickery twists designed deceitfully. All that's needed to stop humanity from looping in its inverted matrix system is knowledge of self, which connects us directly to God's wisdom. Continuing on with what I myself had gathered on my numerous trips back and forth, it is possible to face the devil and not be frightened. I'm finally happy to report. Living in a hell where you're hated actually gives you access to mad growth. It's all about your perceptive. I think I had a typo in this book. It's all about your perspective and depends on our individual manner of approach. Maybe not. In the same way that those who were dancing were thought to be insane by those who didn't hear the music, or how some people can admire the rose garden while others only see a field of thorns, we are free to pick. A choice to choose to learn from however the lesson had to be presented, or ignore the warning signs which leads to that specific initiation being extended. Who and what we are inside will show what we see in our reality. That proof can be found in the pudding. To that, I guarantee. The law of attraction tells us straight up that we're a magnet. So stop blaming others for your predicaments, you silly rabbit. It's true what they say about walking through hell like you own the place. Knowing we attracted the situation will put a pep into our step, picking up the pace. I could literally go on and on forever. However, we'll save something for another story. There's so much to tell. It's completely cosmic and as complex as the fish John Dory. Hold up, before you go, I have to pass on something else that is key. The more truthful, humble, and forgiving you are, the quicker your journey through the netherworld will be. So, Renaissance of humanity. Renaissance means rebirth, and to me, that is what is happening right now. We are literally having a whole new renaissance before we have the age of enlightenment and then the revolution, because the past proves the future, and that's how the order that it happened before. I'm pretty sure. I'm always questioning myself, which I probably need to quit doing. But so we had the Renaissance seasons, Renaissance era back in whatever in the past, and it was new art, new writing, people, creating and, putting their fingerprint on stuff. And then that led to the age of enlightenment. And then after everybody was enlightened and they realized, hey, we don't have to follow all of these rules by this stupid government and all of this stuff, that's when the revolution happened. And so that's what I believe we're in right now, is a renaissance, a whole new renaissance. And we're gradually enlightening ourselves to where we have a revolution with love in there. Revolution. If love is in there spelled backwards, I love to write it that way. And it is a revolution of consciousness, not something that we're going to be fighting, because if you aren't aware, fighting the old only adds to it. You have to literally go create a new, and then the old is obsolete. It's one of my favorite quotes, and I can't remember who said it to quote their name right now. But anyways, thanks for watching day 6 of Solid Food Vacation.